Have you ever thought about your family tree? I mean, really thought about it? Go back past your grandparents, way past powdered wigs and chainmail. Keep going until you find someone huddled in the dirt, just trying not to die before the sun went down. That person, that's your direct ancestor. You are sitting here today because of an absolutely unbroken chain of survival that stretches back through all of human history.
But here's the question that really gets me. Through all of that time, through countless wars, famines, and disasters, how close did you, specifically, come to never being born at all? The answer, and this is not an exaggeration, is terrifyingly close.
You see, the thing is, your existence isn't just about luck. You're the result of what you could call a violent coincidence and some seriously stubborn biology. To really get a sense of just how improbable you are, let's take a tour through the 5 absolute worst times in history to be born. All right, let's kick this off with number 5, which we'll call the least worst time on our list, the peak of the last ice age. We're talking about 20,000 years ago, and let me tell you, Earth was not a cozy place. It was a frozen, brutal wasteland where pretty much everything was actively trying to kill you.
I mean, just think about the difference in daily problems. You might be stressing out because your Wi-Fi is spotty. Your ancestors, they were worried about being stomped flat by a 6-ton mammoth or, being hunted by a cave lion. It really puts that mild caffeine dependency into perspective, doesn't it?
Life back then was just unbelievably harsh. Global temperatures dropped like a rock. Giant ice sheets, some up to 2 miles thick, covered huge chunks of the planet. Finding food wasn't a trip to the grocery store, it was a life-or-death mission. And forget modern medicine. A simple cut getting infected, that was a potential death sentence. And your house, if you were lucky, it was a drafty cave or a hut made from mammoth bones that you shared with 40 of your closest and, let's be honest, probably smelliest relatives. All right, moving on to number 4 on our list, this is a story about how one of humanity's most brilliant ideas actually turned out to be a total disaster. About 10,000 years ago, we invented agriculture. It seemed like a genius move, but it accidentally made life so much harder. The logic was sound, right? I mean, you get tired of chasing your dinner across the plains, so you think, hey, what if we just stay here and make the food come to us? You start planting crops, you build villages. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? As it turns out, pretty much everything. And here's what happened. We started living in crowded villages, and suddenly diseases spread like wildfire. Our diets got way less diverse. Goodbye variety, hello malnutrition and anemia. Archaeologists can literally see this in the skeletons from the time. Their teeth were an absolute mess. And the worst part? If a drought or a flood wiped out your one single crop, your entire community just starved to death. So coming in at numbers 3 and 2, we've got a grim double feature from the medieval world. First, a threat you could see coming from miles away, other people, and then a terror you couldn't see at all, a microscopic killer that would bring entire civilizations to their knees. Let's start with the human threat. In the 13th century, the Mongol invasions, led by the legendary Genghis Khan, just tore across Asia and Europe. Their campaign was so brutal, so complete, that it's estimated they killed about 10% of the entire world's population at the time. And their strategy? It was terrifyingly simple and effective. They were masters of fast, mobile warfare. We're talking horse archers who were so skilled they could hit a target from hundreds of yards away while at a full gallop. They'd show up, hit you with overwhelming force, and very often just wipe your city completely off the map. But if you were one of the lucky ones who survived that, an even deadlier, invisible enemy was on its way. Just a century later, the Black Death hit Europe. And in just a few years, this biological wildfire killed somewhere between 30 and 60% of the continent's entire population. Let that sink in. 60%. This was the bubonic plague. It was caused by a tiny bacterium spread by fleas that lived on rats, and survival was basically a lottery. You could get it from a simple handshake or just from being in the wrong place at the wrong time. The symptoms were horrific, and death often came in just a matter of days. You know those creepy bird masks you see in pictures? Plague doctors filled the beaks with flowers and herbs, hoping it would protect them. Spoiler alert, it did not work. And now, we've arrived. We're at number 1. The single worst, most terrifying time in all of human history to be born. An event so unbelievably catastrophic, it didn't just threaten a city or a continent, it nearly erased our entire species from existence. About 74,000 years ago, a supervolcano in what is now Indonesia, called Toba, erupted with a force that is almost impossible to comprehend.
It shot so much ash into the atmosphere that it literally blocked out the sun for almost a decade. This kicked off a volcanic winter. Global temperatures crashed, ecosystems all over the world collapsed, plants died, animals starved, and for our ancestors, it was the literal apocalypse.
This catastrophe created what scientists call a genetic bottleneck. Okay, imagine you have a bottle full of beads and you tip it over. Only a few random beads manage to squeeze through the narrow neck. That's exactly what happened to humanity. The population was so decimated that the very few who survived, they became the ancestors of every single person alive today.
So just how small did our population get? Well, the best estimates suggest that the total number of breeding humans on the entire planet shrank to fewer than 3,000 individuals. Just think about that for a second. Every single one of the 8 billion people on Earth today, including you, is a descendant of that tiny, desperate group of survivors.
Which, of course, brings us all the way back to you. Your existence is proof. It's a testament to this unbroken line of people who survived ice ages, famines, invasions, plagues, and a near-total extinction event. They stared into the abyss, and they somehow, against all odds, endured.
So remember this, you are not an accident. You are a legacy. You are the result of thousands and thousands of years of impossible survival. You are the miracle that your ancestors fought mammoths and starvation and darkness for.
So the final question, really, isn't about the past, it's about right now. Knowing the astronomical odds that were beaten just so you could be here at this very moment, what will you do with your improbable existence?